Hi guys, I hope you can hear me. So I wanted to come and touch on. I tried to make a video like I was telling you guys in the other video that I have. It's some videos that I don't know. It's a couple of videos I'm gonna put up on this channel because talk about YouTubers over here, and so I'm gonna put that video up over here. While I want to get on this conversation of Jessica X and the Saint and the Sinner, kind of going at it on, over uh, his apology to Kevin Samuels. So I'm going to get to that. I'm trying to get that video up as well. I'm trying to do two things at one time. But anyway, and so since it's kind of hard for me to get my videos up right now, I just wanted to come live about this. Um, so Uncle Jay Prince called for some, I guess he's only calling for certain artists. I don't know if he was saying this for all of the artists on the Grammys, I guess the black ones, to boycott the Grammys. And I guess he's trying to do this because they dropped Kanye West. And I think I have a video up already where I already said how I feel about this. I feel the Grammys, they're doing the right thing. If Trevor Noah is their host, it's not like people could just pick up and go and hire another person to host the Grammys. There's work that goes into all of that. So I understand, and I think most people understand why they are going to keep the host. And if there's someone performing, he can perform next year, right? Or whenever. You know, Kanye seems to have this way of making himself available, and these people are going to, open their arms and welcome him. That's kind of how it comes off. So I feel like if he can't perform this year, he can perform next year. I don't see the big deal. But here come Uncle Jay Prince, and he's saying, oh, I think that people should boycott. Let me try to play some of what he said on his from his page. Dictate our culture to their benefit. Oh, I have to play it once. For the past 30 years that I've been in the music business. And all the artists, managers, executives would do is complain, but never had the nuts to come together and do anything about it. Even though the latest episode deals with Trevor Noah in the counseling of Kanye, this racist act is so much bigger than them. Let's just start with the mindset of the words counsel and cancel, where the Grammys is concerned, and compare them to rehabilitation and legal slavery where the penitentiary is concerned. If we begin with counsel and rehabilitation in the Grammys or the penitentiary, the truth is that they really don't exist. They're just fancy lies. But on the other hand, if we look at the words counsel and legal slavery punishment, those words are true, real, and exist today. For example, for those of you that never took the time to read the 13th Amendment, it clearly says that slavery was abolished, except for use as punishment for a crime you've been convicted of. So therefore, according to the 13th Amendment of the Constitution, everyone in the prison system and those that are out of prison that have been convicted of a crime are considered slaves in the United States and under its jurisdiction in 2022. Not only did they make slavery lawful by an amendment, they then created the laws by which people would be enslaved. They did that shit back then, and they're still doing it today. This background is important to know because of the mentality of those that control both the Grammys and the prison systems in the United States. This is a slave master punisher nigga mentality and act to remind us that no matter how much money we have, we are still niggas in their eyes. So they cancel Kanye. And okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that down. I don't know how long he talking, child. I cannot. Listen. First of all, how ironic that he's saying all of this about someone who said that slavery was a choice. right? And so it's really hard to take people like Jay Prince, while we want to respect him, we want to respect what he's, the contributions he's made to music, to hip hop, all of that. We want to respect that. Um, but I think people are not always honest. And you guys know I've said this several times in my videos. I cannot stand this whole mentality of people using their blackness when it's convenient for them. It really gets on my nerves. And it's always the people who are so far from giving a zero of a damn about black people when it really comes down to it that do this. Okay, first of all, Kanye and Trevor Noah are, to me, one and the same. Kanye is Mr. Biracial, and Trevor Noah is biracial. What is the difference between them? Get out of here with that nonsense. Okay, Kanye don't give no care no more for what, where black people are in this country, than Trevor Noah or anyone else. Okay, so miss me with that nonsense. I put it out there. I don't care who don't like what I say. It's just something to get 5 minutes of funk. Okay, let's just call that what it is. You just need you 5 minutes, Uncle Jay Prince, and there it is. And then all these other people that's following behind him with stuff to say as well that don't make no sense. And this is, like I said, it's a bunch of these guys who know darn well they don't care nothing about the black community. They don't care nothing about black nothing in this country, our existence, our well-being, where we are in that music industry. Years ago there was this article, and I was sitting here thinking about all the people that writer, and I think it was Kevin Powell. It may have been another writer, but I know it was in the Source magazine or Double XL. It was in one of the hip hop magazines, and the person raised the question. Just imagine, that was kind of how the story was titled, and you guys go try to find it out. I might try to find it myself, because I feel like what he said in that article is very powerful, and it speaks to today. Because first of all, if all of these guys, all of these black executives, these puffies, and I'm going to get to him in the Mase situation, the puffies, the Master P's, the J Princes, the Jay Z's, the Damon Dash, the Jermaine Dupri's, all of these people would have really put their Russell Simmons, who, you can see him as an icon in that way, right? As a music executive, right? If all of these people would have created a table for themselves, locked in, and said that everything where black music was concerned, in particular hip hop and rap music, had to come through them, like all these other groups of people do to protect their interests, we would be in a different situation in that music industry, regardless of the way you buy your music or get music changing or not. Okay, it's the fact that you guys sit around and sell out, sell out, and sell out, and then start screaming about your blackness when you need 5 minutes. And it's annoying. Okay, it's annoying. Period. I don't understand why he's doing that. And then coming behind, and then from what I'm hearing from someone else's commentary, and I'm not gonna get off into that person, but this whole thing about him being attached to this whole Megan Thee Stallion situation with Paul Crawford. Now, see, you can't sit out here and say you're for black artists, then you're out here mistreating a black artist, okay? Which will then lead me into this Mason Puffy situation. It's the same thing. Please kill that noise about all this blackness that you don't give zero damns about when you have people who are saying that they are being mistreated. Okay. And I do agree with Mase. If he is waiting to get his masters from Bad Boy or whomever, because I think Bad Boy was under a larger label. And this is what I'm saying. Puffy should have put these artists in a position with those larger and just said, this is what it is. They need you. You don't need these people, to be honest. If the music is what's selling and making money for everybody, then guess what? They need the artists and they need you guys more than you need them. Okay? And it's how you let people know that you understand that. Um, why you didn't set it up to where these people can get their masters, or whatever the situation where that talk is put in play for them. Um, okay, my phone. Anyway, I'm not going to be here in a long time. But I like the fact that Mase just kind of went in on him, and They have the live version of Oracle 2, and I don't know, let me turn that off. Child, we don't want to hear no more from him. Yeah, but then I'm like, the nerve of you to have anything going with Megan, and then you're out here giving this fake speech about slavery and people being treated as slaves. Well, then you're now being accused of doing the same thing to yet another young artist. So yeah, it's hard for me to take him serious. Like I said, you want to respect these people because you feel like they've made contributions, and then some of y'all get overly impressed about somebody's money, and y'all don't even know if these people got this money, and y'all don't even know who controlling their money. You see how easy it is for somebody to come snatch these black folks' money out of their hands. But y'all be overly impressed about money and all this nonsense. But what are they? It's about what people are doing, that are really making a contribution to music and making it easier and fair for our people, because we have to do that. Okay, other people are not going to do that, nor are they going to raise the conversation because they like just where you are. Okay, and I don't have an issue with the Grammys dropping Kanye, and I said this in that other video. I think that they're right. If they're trying to get away from people accusing them of shenanigans and doing silly stuff, it would not make sense for them to go on and let Kanye come through there when he's having these little outbursts and stuff on social media. Even though, as you guys can notice, we haven't heard anything from him as of late, right? And I was just having this conversation with somebody else. It seems like some people were saying that, all of that was really to promote that Kardashian show. You never know. And speaking of sending your slaves out, when people are just sending these guys out to get them attention, and I don't know whose payroll he may be on, or if he's on payroll, or they have some type of financial understanding of how he can go out and get attention for this family. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting that all of that has kind of died down. And I'm not saying that it should not, but Kanye is supposedly a billionaire or close to it or whatever. He really should have medical insurance. He should have everything that he needs. There's no reason for him to be out here having these outbursts. And there are other people with that are dealing with bipolar, um, and they're not acting like this. There are people in Hollywood who are bipolar, and they're not handling themselves the way that he's handling himself. So I'm not going to give him that excuse or use somebody's mental health as an excuse. I don't necessarily buy into that. And some people are saying that he's just playing around. I don't think it's funny. But yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he, like I said, he's just trying to get attention for promotions for these people, right? We don't know what their agreement could be in that way. But stop bringing up Black history and Black folks and acting like, because I don't owe nobody nothing, and that's just where I'm at with all of that. I don't, just because somebody's in black skin doesn't mean that that's my story. And I'm not, I'm sorry, I've been let that go. I've been had a very clear understanding of that. Just because people are in black skin do not mean they share in your story or they want to. And so we have to be clear about the stuff that we try to say out here. And then, it's real clear that, like I said, if you are involved in any kind of mess with Megan Thee Stallion, I'm not wanting to release her or treat her fairly as an artist, especially a young woman coming into that type of industry, and you're not protecting her, you know, I don't want to hear from you anyway. And that's on period. And then the Puffy and the Mase situation is the same thing. Like I said, if the guy is saying, why can't he get his master's? Why can't he get his master's? And other people are trying to come out and defend him. Obviously, they still have a good relationship with Puffy. Puffy is probably good for connections that he may have. Obviously, he's connected to certain people, and so people, they want to look up to him or kiss up to him because they think that there's things that's going to come along with doing that. But when people are right, they're right. When they're wrong, they're wrong. And if he's giving other people their masters, then why not Mase? I agree with him. But I wanted to play because he went the hell in on this on the live version, and the whole thing is at MREX TV. If you guys want to hear the whole thing, I'm not going to play the whole thing. But he has the acapella version of Oracle 2, and what did I do? I have to get off of here too because my phone. I just realized my phone was not. charged. I'm on my phone. Um, but yeah, like, no, I'm sick of these people, and I'm tired. And especially in that music industry, y'all need to cut it out. Like, I don't even want to hear you, some of these people even using the word black. To be honest, y'all not black, y'all OJ, and that's fine with me. I think everybody should be honest about where they are, where how they and where they stand, because people can see it anyway, right? Like I said, like that doesn't make sense that you giving this whole big long speech about slavery, and then you're in turning around. This is a whole story out here about you and Megan Thee Stallion, like. Come on now, let's make that make sense. And the Grammys are right. There's no reason for Kanye to be there if Trevor is hosting. And I will be fair and say Trevor could come with some antics, right? Knowing that Kanye is going to be there, that could set him up to pull some antics. Like no one wants to see all of that in either direction, right? So I think that they're right by just saying we'll have you on another time and go on and let Trevor host. I don't see the big deal, and I don't see them as any different than the other. You know, I don't. I'm not. Why is Kanye's blackness so much more important than Trevor's half blackness? Make it make sense to me, because that don't make sense what you're saying. And this guy has sat out here and said all kind of racist things himself. And I'm talking about Kanye. And I'm not using his the mental illness stuff as some type of excuse. We're not doing that. We're not doing that because he's too rich not to have what he needs. And that's it and that's all. And I don't know where his people are, but you know, he's too rich not to have people in place to make sure that he's okay. And so I'm not buying into that. But I wanted to play some of what May said because I was over here like, oh no. But yeah, I guess people forgot Mase was kind of the truth. Because I'm my own man. Yes, sir. I show up when thunder fall. I ain't running from y'all. Because I come for it all. I fire at Goliath and watch him fall. They want to kill the short first because I come for the tall. And when your main artist die, what the hell do you call? I bring smoke or water on. I'm used to the fall. I empty pipes when cliques get called and go to church on Sunday. I'm the illest of all. Don't ever put Mase with other bad boys who had hardships. You know, I get it jumping like a mosh pit, nigga. I'm the first level, dirt level. I could never work level. Niggas mad I made it to the I would never work level. Since Cain killed Abel, I'm able to kill Cain. And love don't steal, my nigga, change your name. Come on. And I see no integrity in your name. And I'm haunted by the ghost of St. James. Champagne King, match my rolling plain chain. And I say, thank God I ain't changed. And if niggas never found the killer, wise niggas living it. Everybody broke, niggas gotta plan the vision it. Niggas be selling their soul to go to a brunch. Niggas might end up sweet, drinking that punch. I suffer good. And niggas know I'm from another hood. Forget a brotherhood, I'm trying to make sure that my mother good. Yeah, so you guys can hear the whole thing over at MREC TV. And I think it was shot by a young lady named Shauna. So yeah. Anyway, that's when we get a taste of real hip hop, right? When people come back that have the skills to do that. But anyway, like somebody was saying in the comments, it's sad that Puffy's involved. He's involved in two of the biggest diss tracks of all time, right? But yeah, he probably deserves to be anyway. Like, you know, they're referring um, to Tupac and then to the Mase song when they're saying two of the biggest songs. So anyway, the next story that I wanted to get on, which is kind of still it ties into all of this, is Tory Lanez and this petition. So I don't know who started this petition to try to get Kanye kicked off of Coachella. And I agree. I don't understand why people want him to not work. That has nothing to do with anything else, right? If he was already, and I think I saw the flyer where Kanye's name was already on there. And I don't think that he should be canceled for work, right? For the shows or whatever that he already has set up. That has nothing to do with nothing. He can still go on the stage and perform. That's what I'm saying. I think people are using his mental thing in a just the wrong ways anyway. Um, like I said, you could see the train wrecks from a mile away anyway with all of that. So I don't know who started the petition, but I don't think that he should be dropped from Coachella or anything else that he's already scheduled to do outside of the Grammys, and that's a conflict of interest because they have Trevor Noah there as a host. Trevor is also a comedian. Like I said, we don't know what he would do if Kanye is there, right? And so I think the Grammys just want to kind of distance themselves from all of that, and they don't want that to become a part of their show or what they're trying to do. It makes sense to me. Why it don't make sense to these other people? Like I said, maybe they're just looking for 5 minutes. I don't know. And so Tory Lanez started his own petition, and oh, you know what? I never turned on my little videos, huh? Anyway, he started his own petition, and he's saying that black men are not, I guess, getting booked for these festivals and to do shows, which I don't know if that's true. And then again, it goes back to what I was saying in the very beginning. If these people would have stuck together when they should have been sticking together years ago to lock in their position over hip hop and over black music in general, instead of doing all this stuff that they do, and I'm not going through all of that. You guys can go read about it because I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and instead of them doing things that way, then they wouldn't even have to have these kind of conversations, right? Let me put my headphones. They would have to have these conversations because people would have to go through them anyway. And there should already be hip hop festivals and whatever else going on out here that promoters that are promoting hip hop, and black artists are being booked. And I feel like these guys are being booked anyway. I see Lil Durk and Baby and Da Baby and all the rest of these kids' names coming up on these flyers. And so they are being booked. I think that that's more about himself. And I guess he's trying to just kind of play on the whole Kanye situation as well, because someone is trying to get Kanye canceled off of Coachella. I feel like the thing about Tory Lanez, however, is that if Megan is already, because she's booked on a lot of these shows as well, if she's already booked, then he can't do the festival because he's not supposed to be near her. To my understanding, they still have that where they can't be within 100 feet or whatever it is of each other. And so I think that people are going to pick the bigger artist, and they're going to pick Megan, right, to book Megan instead of him. But probably just depending on what type of hip hop or they want to have there, because I feel like Tory Lanez and Megan are two different type of artists. So I don't know. He could probably get some shows, and then she could get some shows. I don't have a problem with people working. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want to see nobody working. That's what you're not going to hear from me. But I do think that if Megan is on things, that I guess that's why he can't be booked on those shows. And so let's not pretend like we don't know why you're not getting booked, right? Let's not pretend like we don't know why Kanye is not getting booked if he's not. Even though I don't feel like that should keep Kanye from working. But let's not pretend like we don't know the reason why these things are happening. It's just because they're black. It's not because they're black. Because if Lil Baby is getting booked, is he not black? If Lil Durk is getting booked, is he not black? Kodak Black is getting booked, is he not black? Right? So it doesn't make sense what you guys are saying. It's just like they just saying stuff just to say it for whatever reason. Maybe they just try to latch onto the Kanye thing to get it, like I said, some attention. But the petition do not make sense to me. And like I said, it still goes back to what I was saying. You guys should have been over and in charge of these things anyway. When all these festivals came about, somebody from what I was saying, that structure should have been a part of putting those things together, right? And should have some type of control over that to make sure that people are fairly getting booked. But it is what it is. Who do you blame for that? You don't get to blame other people for that. And I think Tory Lanez has to remember he has a case out here and stop trying to act like nobody is supposed to know that. because we do know that. We, like I said, we also understand that he has to stay away from Megan. So that's why he's not booked. It has nothing to do with him being a black man. And that's it, and that's all on that. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. Yeah, because I had tried to put this video up and it wasn't going up. So I just said, well, let me go live since I have this time right now. Also, on Sunday, I'm going to go to my other channel called The Rant Room. So you guys can catch me over there on Sunday. I'm just going to start going live a little more. And that on that channel, I'm still trying to build that channel. So I won't be on there no long periods of time. But please go over and subscribe over there as well. Like I said, I'm trying to get this video up about the Satan Center and Jessica X. And I also wanted to touch on Cynthia G and her debut on Fox Soul. She was on there on a panel discussing biracial. Is it fair for them to classify themselves as black? And that whole conversation, it was kind of, I think it was like 30 minutes long, but it was interesting. The two women that Tammy Mack had on there. I kind of wanted to just touch on that. I think Cynthia handled herself really well, but I'm going to do that on Sunday on The Rant Room. So look for that channel. Please subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this whole thing about Jay Prince coming out talking about boycott the Grammys. To my understanding, Nas said that he's still performing. He's nominated again. And so he's going to perform this year. I believe, I'm not sure if it's Beyonce. I don't know if she's performing at the Oscars or at the Grammys. I can't remember now which one it is. But I know she's also performing. Some other people were announced today. So, I mean, yesterday. So let me know what you guys think about all of that. Do you think that people should feel away because they pulled Kanye off of the Grammys? And if you do, can you please let us know why in the comments? Like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you guys on Sunday on The Rant Room. Bye. Oops.